Hi, I'm Matt Bentley. This is MMA Futures, and I'm here with UFC fighter, the James Krause. James, tonight we've got KCFA 30 coming to you guys from Truman Memorial Hall here in Kansas City. One of the things I love about coming to this event, you guys always do a great job of matchmaking. You know, you're never going to see a one-sided blowout. Always a really exciting card. I know tonight we've got John O'Brien fighting on the amateur card. I've seen him fight a couple times. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that matchup?
Yeah, John. John comes from a high school wrestling background. He's one of those kids that's kind of dedicated his whole life. He's one of Grant Dawson's main training partners, but he's fighting a tough kid out of St. Louis, Luis Philippe, really good striker. John comes from a wrestling background, so it's going to be your classic striker versus a grappler matchup. Both of these guys, there's indications that both of these kids are going to be really good as a good amateur, and then obviously to a pro level at some point. But both these guys. This is a pro fight that you could put together, you know, a couple of years from now, and it would be really good. So I'm excited for that one. That's definitely the amateur fight that I'm looking forward to the most.
All right, and then as we flip over to the pro side, we've got Jeff Molina. He's taking on Joe Estrada tonight. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that matchup?
Yeah, so Estrada brings in he's a tricky dude. He's got a couple like little like bicycle kick knockouts. And he's got good power in his right hand, but Molina is he's kind of a new breed, modern era fighter. He's got just sick angles. It kind of looks like a little Hispanic TJ Dillashaw in there. I mean, he's kind of all over the place. He's got some really good angles, some really slick striking. He's good on the ground as well. I'm really excited for that fight. I think it's going to be a good. I think it's going to be a good fight for the fans in terms of if you're interested in knockouts and good striking and good kickboxing. I think that's the fight to watch.
Okay, so with a guy like Molina, you know, you kind of mentioned that he's more of like a new era type fighter. You know, obviously we've seen the sport kind of transcend and evolve over the years, and guys are training a lot differently. They're training more of a complete game, a complete package. Is that what we should expect to see out of Jeff Molina tonight?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, Jeff likes to strike, but he's been training at my gym. I mean, I think one of the things we bring to the table is a good blend, you know, of striking, grappling, on the ground, you know, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, strike, all together, putting everything together. I think that's when I say the new era, that's what I mean. And his record is really deceiving. His first couple losses were to some good wrestlers out of his weight class. He's a 25er. He's not a big dude at 25. He went up to 35 and lost a couple times, but I think he's kind of found his stride and is really coming into his own. You're seeing his skills start to come out. I really think this fight would be was going to be fun. But Estrada's no joke. He's beat some guys he shouldn't before. He's got a hard right hand. He hits like a truck. He's got a decent wrestling background. So we'll see. You know, it's a really good matchup.
Okay, and then for our pro co-main event, you guys are throwing a couple big boys in there. Yeah. Okay, we've got Antonio Martinez, Cesar Gutierrez. You mentioned to me a little bit earlier that these two have fought before. Mm-hmm. What should we expect in the co-main event tonight?
Man, every other fight that they've ever had, it would lead you to believe if it's going to be like the other one that they had, it's just going to be a knockdown, drag out, you know, left hook, overhand right fight. I actually anticipate a little bit more wrestling to come out of Cesar this time. I think that Antonio's got power. If you ever watch him, he's got power. He can end a fight at any moment, and I think that's one of his best assets that he brings to the table as a fighter is the ability to end a fight with either hand. He has a ton of power. So I think Gutierrez is gonna shoot early and try to wrestle Antonio, which, you know, Antonio hasn't had a ton of experience against good wrestlers. So I'm anxious to see how he deals with that.
Okay, and then in the main event, we've got Adam Ward versus Sharkbait Anthony Gutierrez. Gutierrez, obviously a big fan favorite around this area. I know that Sharkbait's been doing a lot of pro wrestling and stuff. Has he been in the gym? I mean, is this a fight that he prepared well for?
Oh, yeah. He always, whenever he takes a fight, he always, you know, he's in there. He takes it serious. He's in the gym, and, you know, you're never going to see him he's never going to be off of his game in terms of, you know, he's out of shape or anything like that. He always comes in shape, and he's a veteran. He's had a very, very extensive amateur career. He's a veteran of the sport. He's got a very, very high fight awareness in cage. In the middle of his fight, he's very aware of what's going on, not just with himself, with his opponent, with corners. He's very, very aware of that. And I think that's a huge advantage for him going in this fight. But Ward is tough, man. He brings a good pace. He's got some good striking, some decent wrestling, and really I think stylistically, I think it's going to be who brings their A game tonight and who obviously executes their game plan more than the other. In my personal opinion, I think whoever gets on top of this fight is going to win.
Okay, and then just kind of going over, as I look through the card here, what do you think is going to be the big dynamite? Are we going to see any big major knockouts tonight? I mean, what's the big highlight that we should be expecting to see out of this KCFA 30 card?
Well, I mean, if you guys have ever watched KCFA before, it's pretty much any time that Antonio Martinez is on this card, regardless of who he's fighting. And Cesar Gutierrez, he brings the same. So for me, like if I say anything other than those two in fight of the night or knockdown, drag out, that's the fight that's definitely gonna bring that to the table. But I think Molina Estrada has fireworks on it as well. So there's a lot of good fights leading up to the main card, but I think those two are gonna steal the show.
All right, so. You guys heard it here, okay? Obviously, we gave you a little rundown on what the event's going to be like tonight. You got to hear from D. James Krause, okay? If you're not lucky enough to be in attendance here in Kansas City tonight, you can check it out live on MMAFutures.com.